better. That should be better. That should be better. Didn't have the mic plugged in. Stand up, Hoops fans. We're going to have a little call-in show. Obviously not too happy about my New York Knicks. We're going to get into it. What is going on? And now I'm missing on the camera. This is getting insane, guys. Hold on one second. You can hear my voice. That's good, right? That's a start, right? Hold on. Technical difficulties. There we are. What's going on, Cesar Munoz? What's going on, Prospect? What's going on, diehard Giants fan? What's going on, Donnell? What's going on, my man? What's going on, Goose? What's going on, Giants Nation? Tough day to be a Knicks fan. And I noticed that all my videos, my last 4, randomly went private. Don't know how that happened, but just got them up public again. If you didn't see my video, I was not very happy when we found out about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant now will be playing for the Brooklyn Nets. What's going on, Lolly Mac? Thank you for the Ducks. What's going on, Rocky? What's going on, Tommy H? It's been a long time, guys. Jose Reyes, the Knicks certainly suck. I'm embarrassed to be a Knicks fan, but what more can we say? We're used to this. It's the same exact situation as LeBron, only at least we have some young pieces. But then they go out and they sign Julius Randle, which I can't say is a horrible signing because he's young, but it's $21 million a year off the cap now. That's going to limit them from signing a max player. We were all hoping that the Knicks would get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Everybody was hoping that. We were hoping we'd be a competitive team next year, and now it's going to be 3 years until we're competitive. If it breaks right, if R.J. Barrett is good, if Kevin Knox is good, if Mitchell Robinson is good. The Knicks are going to be a bad team next year. They're going to be a bad team for the next 2 years. And we got to hope that we can get an early round pick next year, and we hit on it. But right now I'm not happy as a Knicks fan. I was banking on Durant. I thought for sure he was going to be here, and he's not. He is. He's playing in Brooklyn. For our rivals. And I didn't see it coming. Of course, leading up into it, 3-4 weeks before it took place, we started hearing rumblings about that he may be playing for the Nets. And I couldn't believe it. Obviously, none of us saw that coming. But yeah, he's going to be a Net now for the next 5 years, along with Kyrie Irving. And hopefully the Knicks can rebound from this. Hopefully the Knicks can draft well. I don't know what else. I can't put much of a positive spin on it. Obviously, I hope Julius Randle works out. What's going on, Dan F? What's going on, Jose Reyes? Eddie Alvarez, what's going on, man? We have a young core, but like I said, it's better than with LeBron James, but it's still horrible. Let's be real. Let's be fair. Let's be positive. I get it, but it's not looking good for the Knicks right now, in my opinion. Not looking good. I wouldn't dump them. I'm never going to dump my Knicks, but they're not going to be contending for the playoffs for the next 2 or 3 years. That's for damn sure. KD was a gamble. Yeah, Eddie Alvarez, that's certainly a fair thing to say, and we're going to open up the lines in a second. That's certainly a fair thing to say that KD was a gamble, and I will say this, though. And you're absolutely right. Our owner is a disgrace. But I will say this. The Knicks came out, and they said that they never offered him a max deal. I call bullshit. I do not believe that for a second. I think it's James Dolan and the Knicks trying to save face. It's James Dolan trying to save face because anybody with a brain knows that nobody wants to play for him. So if he went out and said, oh yeah, we offered him the max contract, and then the Brooklyn Nets came and took him from us, I don't believe that for a second. The Knicks were all in on Kevin Durant. The reason the Knicks made this trade was to sign a big player, and granted, it was before Durant got hurt. But the Knicks freed up all this cap space this year specifically to go out and get a max player. And they knew that, and they even came out and said a week ago that they were all in on Durant. So I don't believe that for a second. I think the Knicks were all in on Durant. I think they planned to sign him, and they missed. And, we got to regroup. At least they aren't my Wizards. Well, the Wizards are bad. I'll gamble on the best player in the league. The owner must sell the team. Yeah, the owner must sell the team. But we're going to open up the phone lines, guys. Let's open up the phone lines. Phone number is 914-481. Let me make sure my volume is set properly. And it's not. That could have been a problem. 914-481, and we're getting a call. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. I'm guessing this is Mike Nixon. Not very good right now as a Knicks fan. Yeah, I know you're a big Knicks fan yourself. You always call in and talk about the Knicks. Now I'm sure you, like me, were hoping to get some big talent in this offseason. That's why the Knicks made the trades they did. What do you think about the Randall acquisition, and what do you think about the plan moving forward? Hold on one second, Mike. They can't hear you, Mike. I'm trying to fix it. Hold on one second. I don't know why they can't hear you. There we go. Now they should be able to hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, like you said earlier in the Sports Fairies stream, he's gotten better every year that he's been in the league, and I feel he can develop that defense. Somebody in there can help him develop that defense, whether it's somebody on the team, maybe, even though he's young, maybe like Mitchell Robinson can be like a little mentor of a defensive influence on him and help him out there a little bit, you know what I mean?
I don't see that. I think if anything, you bring in a mentor for Mitchell Robinson, not the other way around. I mean, this guy's 19 years old. Julius Randle, very talented offensive player, 21-9 last year. Everybody says he struggles. I don't think he's a long-term answer. I hope he is, but to me, it's eerily similar of when we brought in Zach Randolph, which is what I said in my video. That's who he reminds me of, a guy that's going to go out there on a poor team and get his stats, right? He's going to get the 21-12, but you're going to lose games. That's what this is to me. And I think it's the Knicks just saving face so they could put out a semi-competitive basketball team, and maybe Randall helps the team develop a little bit with some more talent on the floor. But I don't put any stock into it at all. I don't think it's a big impact move at all.
Yeah, it's not that big of a impacted move, but I mean, I'm gonna try to. I was just checking on my dinner, but I think I'm gonna patient it out a little bit. Like, we'll probably have another top pick next year, and even like, because I know we have Dennis Smith, he's probably gonna be our starter next year. If we not liking the development that he's coming, it's a very good point guard class. A lot of good point guards coming out. My favorite point guard coming out plays for North Carolina, Cole Anthony. I think he could be a solid point guard in the league, and we got a top pick, and we don't feel like Dennis Smith is developing to be like a solid starter. Maybe we keep him as like a 6-man to come off the bench or whatever, but we can use our top pick and go after like a Cole Anthony, or there's some other point guards in there in next year's draft that we could pick up. There's quite or even like at other positions, there's some decent players coming out next year.
Right. I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. But I mean, I think the Knicks were all in this year, just like they were with LeBron James, and they missed. And now it's going to take us 3 years. It's going to take us 3 years, and we're going to have to continue to draft well. And I'm sorry, I'm just getting thrown off because somebody hacked into my YouTube account, and they keep privatizing my videos. I'm going to have to change my password after this. I don't know why that's happening, but it happened twice now, so I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to change my password. But I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Mike.
It's all good. It's all good, but yeah, it's definitely gonna be a while, and it looks like we're gonna have to keep being patient, and hopefully everything falls in the right path for us, and we can develop some of our younger talent that we had. Hopefully, maybe Kevin Knox will surprise people next year and take. Even though he have a really good rookie year, but maybe he takes that next step this year, and maybe he breaks out for us, and maybe we see some good flashes in him. Mitchell Robinson comes out and flashes. RJ. Well, I figure RJ's going to come out there. He's going to be a star in the league. So I feel like he's going to help us tremendously. So hopefully we can be patient, and hopefully maybe a couple people break out for us next year.
I hope so. I mean, R.J. Barrett, I think, is going to be a really good player, and I upped the sound for you guys. I tried my best. I upped the sound. They say they're not hearing you well. I upped the sound, so hopefully that's coming in better. R.J. Barrett, I think, could be the best player in this year's draft. Obviously, everybody's going to say Zion, and that's who I would have taken too, but I do like R.J. Barrett a lot. Kevin Knox's maturation is going to be a big factor this year, and Mitchell Robinson. So that's all we got to hold our hat on. Don't expect any wins this year. Expect another high draft pick, and hopefully they hit on it. But I'm gonna let you go because I got a bunch of people trying to call me right now.
No problem. We got one little bright thing though. Football's coming on the way, and who knows? Maybe our Giants surprise us this year. Like I keep saying, because I'm believing the hype entertainment. I'm told everybody I don't think we're gonna make the playoffs, but I think we're a 6-10, 7-9 team this year. I still believe it.
All right, buddy. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much. I hope you're right. You guys are still saying the sound is low. I turned it all the way up. It was down on my end. If it is still low, I don't know what to do. I was waiting for the next caller. Sorry about that, guys. Guys, let me know if the sound is better. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Chris, what's up, bro? It's Brandon. How are you, my man?
What's going on, Brandon? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, but, Chris, I think it's finally time to admit that they did really trade him for cap space, and they didn't do nothing with it. So, that sucks for you guys, though, because, Porzingis, he did get his money, but you guys basically didn't get anything out of it but Julius. But
the Knicks screwed up. I mean, there's no way around it. The Knicks screwed up. They created cap space, and they had their target. Now, you can't fully blame the Knicks, right? Because Kevin Durant got hurt. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it might have been different had he not gotten hurt. We don't know. Kyrie might have came here had Kevin Durant been healthy, because he might have said, all right, we can compete right away. Now, if I go to the Knicks, I'm not going to be able to compete at all. If he goes to the Nets, this is a team that went to the playoffs last year. He might say to himself, at least I'm going to the playoffs. So who knows? It might have altered things. But the Knicks screwed up. I mean, the trade. In my opinion, the only thing they got out of this trade now was 2 late first-round draft picks, because the cap space is irrelevant, because the cap space would have fallen off. Tim Hardaway was coming up in 2 years, and Courtney Lee would have been off the team.
Yeah, that's true. But they still would have cap space for next year, though, if there was some good free agents out there next. I guess there's next year too. So that high draft pick, you guys will probably get again. You guys can probably get another superstar out of the draft again. I do like R.J. Barrett, though. He was the second best player on that Duke team for sure. I'll tell you that. But
I think R.J. Barrett could be the best player in this draft. I really do believe that. I'm not saying he will be, but I think he certainly can be. And they're still saying that the volume's coming in low. I don't know why. I have no idea why. So I don't know why. You sound a little low to me, actually. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Oh, okay, I got you. But do you think D'Lo's going to the Lakers, or what do you think?
Do I think D'Lo's going to the Lakers? I think it makes sense. We've heard rumors about that. He obviously was drafted there. They have $32 million to spend. If I had to pick who the Lakers get, if they don't get Kawhi, I think they will end up with D'Lo.
Yeah, I really think Kawhi should go to the Lakers, though, because my take on that whole thing with KD and Kyrie, I get that KD won't play a year, but if Kawhi does decide to stay in Toronto, he should do like a 2 or a 1 year, the 2 year with the player option, or the 1 year and just leave, because then KD's coming back next year, and the Nets are going to be a contender. They'll still make the playoffs next season, but the season after, they'll be a finals contender for sure. So if Kawhi does sign a 2 year with the player option, he can opt out and then go sign, or he just does a 1 year. But he can stay in Toronto if he wants for a year, or else just go to the Lakers now, because you can win another title next year if they get Kawhi for sure.
I hope so, man. I'm thinking about the Knicks right now. That's all I can think about right now. But D'Angelo Russell, I think, makes a lot of sense going to the Lakers. They need a point guard, and if he went there, I think they'd be the favorites in the Western Conference. The only thing is they don't have a ton of depth there, but obviously with Kuzma, and obviously the 2 guys they already have there with LeBron and Anthony Davis, I think that they'd probably be the favorites without thinking about, I have to really evaluate and see what every team did after free agency. But I think the Lakers, if they get Russell, would be the favorites out of the West.
So is Butler for sure in Miami, or are they still working that out?
So I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Is Butler for sure in Miami, or
now I'm hearing rumors. Now I heard today Butler's definitely going to Miami. That's why I made the video. It was all over Twitter.
Okay.
And then now I'm hearing that they're talking that he might be going to There was another team I heard. I forget. There was a trade potential, but it would have to be a sign and trade because the Miami obviously doesn't have the cap space.
Yeah.
But that's what I heard today. Everybody was saying he was going to Miami, so maybe it changed.
Oh.
He's definitely leaving Philadelphia, and they signed Tobias Harris.
Yeah, that Tobias Harris contract is unbelievable. He's not worth 5 years, 180. God no.
$36 million a year.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna let you get to some other callers. Appreciate you having me on. Like always,
All right, buddy. I appreciate your support, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. See you later.
All right, have a good one. Let's take the next call. You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
How's it going, man?
What's going on? What's going on, Cristiano? What's going on, Gabe? What's going on, Last Jedi? Thank you for being here. Who's this?
This is Barbowski, man. What's up?
What's going on, Barbowski, man? Great subscriber of mine. What's up, buddy?
Nah, man. I'm chilling. I just want to obviously talk about the Knicks. I gotta say, man, I'm not as upset as most Knicks fans are right now.
Well, what positives do you take from this? What? I mean, it's hard to take positives in my opinion. But go ahead.
I'm not really looking at what happened tonight, obviously, because we didn't get anybody. Well, I shouldn't say that. We got Randall. It was a decent deal. It's not like a big contract, so I thought that was a good signing. But as far as the big guy that everybody wanted, I just and if you remember some of the comments I've made, I'm just really high on this young core that we have. And I know it's going to take some time, and I know it's been so long since we've had a really good team, but I just believe that, one of the biggest problems that the Knicks have had is the impatience that they've had, where they start throwing money around at players they probably shouldn't throw the money at. They start trading away all their picks, and then, we're stuck, with nothing. Yeah, of course I, would have loved to have Durant, but the moment that he got hurt, I was kind of done with the whole idea. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, he could still come back at, 80%, as they're saying, or whatever, but I just think it's a big risk. And I just, like I said, I'm a little down that they didn't get him, but like I said, I'm still, feeling pretty good about what they have. The Knicks have, 6 first-round picks in the next 4 years. They have cap space. Obviously, they're going to have to spend some of that money, and I think that's why they took some of that for Randall. But I just feel like we're in a good place. I think, I like Perry. I like Coach Fizdale. I like, some of the young pieces they have. Obviously, Barrett, Knox, Robinson. I like Smith Jr. I think he's too young for people to already be saying he's a bust or whatever. I don't know, man.
I mean, I get the positive mindset that you have because the Knicks are finally, for the first time in forever, doing things right? Because they never used to do this with they'd always trade away their draft picks, and they would never have first round picks, and they would waste money, big contracts on players that weren't worth signing. But the thing that I worry about here is, do you think Randall? Because Randall scares me in the sense that it's very similar to a Tim Hardaway contract to me, and I'm saying he's better than Hardaway, but it's a player that they basically are sacrificing a max contract for, right? Because they had room for 2, now they only have room for 1. So
okay, I'm with you on that, but real quick, who are they going to get now?
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said in my video. Because in next year's free agency class, if you look, there's not 2 guys that you could really sign to a max deal.
Yeah, so who are they going to get? I mean, we could still get Kawhi. You just never know. It could be a miracle, but they have to spend some of that money. I think that's a rule in the NBA. They have to spend some of that money.
Yeah, no. I have no problem with Randall. I just would have preferred 1 or 2 years.
And, obviously, I know you feel the same. You don't want Butler. You don't want Tobias. Even though Tobias is off the market already. You don't want players like that.
No.
So, I'll take a risk with a young guy. I think Randall's 25.
24.
Something like that.
I think he's going to be 24, yeah.
What's that?
I think he's 24.
Yeah, so he's really young, you know what I mean? So I think, he's a good piece. He could score. Obviously, his defense is a little lackluster, but like I was trying to say, I just like what the Knicks are doing. I just don't want them to fall back into what they used to do with the old regimes, Isaiah Thomas. And just think about it. The last time they made a big move for a free agent was the Carmelo Anthony trade. I don't remember all the pieces they traded away, but I know it was a lot of draft picks. I know that team was starting to kind of, have some chemistry. They had Gallinari, they had Chandler, I think they had Ariza, and they gave up on that for one player. And then after that, they were just no draft picks, and then you're just, I just don't want that again. And I just think they're in a good place right now. And I'm not saying this is a similar situation because obviously they're in a better situation now. They have all their picks, they have cap space, and to add Durant, that would have been beautiful.
Right.
But once again, he's hurt. And it's a big injury. He's about to be 32, so I'm not that sad or upset, I should say, that they didn't get him. It is what it is. And you know what? If he doesn't want to play, then, with the Knicks, then you can go. You know what I'm saying? So I want players that want to come play here, like Barrett. That type of attitude that rookie, was showing during the draft process that he wanted to come play here. I want players like that. So I'm not upset about somebody that doesn't want to be here. And as far as Kyrie, I never wanted Kyrie because he's not a good teammate, a good leader. So whatever, you know what I mean? Obviously, if he would have brought Durant with him, then okay, I changed my mind a little bit because Kyrie,
Well, that was my mindset with Kyrie also. I completely agree with you. I only wanted Kyrie if he was going to lure Durant. I completely agree with that. Yeah, and it was the same thing with every free agent in this class other than Kawhi Leonard. I didn't want Harris. I didn't any of the Butler. Now, I would have taken Butler if it was with Durant, but I didn't want any of these guys as the lone wolf. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and I'll just say one more thing, and I'll let you go so you can get other callers. I'm not trying to say the Knicks are going to be like Golden State, but I'm just trying to make a point here. When Golden State drafted Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, nobody at that point thought they were going to be the dynasty that they became. So my point is that teams got to draft well. They got to build the core, and that's what the Knicks got to do. And then we can, kind of be enticing to a big free agent. So I just think we got to build the core, and I think we have some really nice pieces, to do that. We just got to let them grow because these kids are like 19 and 20. So, I know in the next year there's probably nobody out there, but you never know how the NBA is.
Listen, man. I like your optimistic approach. It's hard for me to be optimistic today, but I get what you're saying. But it's tough to tell that to a Knicks. I mean, I like you're being optimistic, but as a Knicks fan, I'm 33 years old. I've been patient my whole life, and
you're right.
It gets tiring. It gets tiring.
I mean, I'm 39, so I grew up thinking the Knicks were always going to be good.
Right, so same with me. I remember the 92, 91, that's when I first started watching. I was 7 years old,
and
you got spoiled.
In the beginning, and
yeah.
Now all of this. So, you know what, like I said, it can only get better. So we just got to be optimistic and not act like Stephen A. Smith because he's acting like a fool on TV.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. But it's anyway, tough, man. But yeah, thank you for the call, Bob. Thank you for being a great subscriber, Barbowski.
Yeah, man. I love your show, I always say, and thanks for taking my call. Have a good one.
You got it, buddy. All right. Sorry, and I see who's Mark's in the chat, and yeah, Mark, go ahead and call in. I'll try to take you. There he is. I think we got who's Mark on the line. Who's Mark? Before he goes, if you guys are new to the channel, he is the most passionate Knicks fan I know. And I'm sure he's gonna come guns a-blazing. What's up, Mark? How you been, buddy?
I wish there was a screen on your television so people could see how New York City just took the biggest L to the New Jersey Nets because they are not a New York team, okay?
Yeah.
So, you know what kills me, Chris?
Yeah.
This goes to my real New Yorkers. The ones that go to work, the ones that bust their ass 9 to 5, the blue collar workers, the ones that spend their money in bars,
right?
Cable, go to see the Knicks. 20 years of losing, saying this, saying that, etc., etc., etc.
Right.
Cool, we signed Julius Randle, but we only signed him because, hey, we didn't want to offer KD the max. Cool.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think they didn't want to offer KD the max, or the Knicks are just saving face because they missed out?
They didn't offer to him. That's why KD left like that.
You really
Game
think
of
so?
Thrones. Because you gotta understand something, especially KD's in a position where it's like it's 50-50. There's
Right.
gonna be a team that's gonna take it, and the Nets was the team to take it. The
Right.
Knicks didn't want to do it because number one, they should have just kept that report to themselves
Mm-hmm.
to save face.
Mm-hmm.
Because now that just tells me that you didn't even offer KD the money. Like they didn't have no type of interview, no nothing, no phone conference. None of that happened. None of that happened.
Right.
None of it happened.
Right.
So they didn't talk to KD. So now I'm hearing everybody in their positivity. Oh, let's give these young guys a chance. I want everybody to understand something. The chances of each of these young guys to become somewhat of a Stephen Curry, you know, this what kills me. When they drafted Stephen Curry, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was a foundational type player when they drafted him. Why do you think the Knicks wanted him so bad?
The Knicks were dying for Stephen Curry. I remember that.
Because he was foundational. And guess what we did? We gave him a foundational player for Julius Randle and Dennis Smith Jr. and salary cap.
Well, the cap space is irrelevant at this point because it would have happened anyway.
It's irrelevant because guess what? When you had two of the biggest stars in the biggest free agency in NBA history, not even call the Knicks or give them an interview, that looks bad on us.
And what do you think the primary reason for that is? You think it's stolen?
I don't think it's stolen. I just think they didn't want to give KD that max. They didn't want to give KD that max. And Kyrie, you know what? Kyrie was the man of this whole thing. He wanted to go to the Nets. He was gun-hole on the Nets. And I think he put KD in a bind. It's like one of them things like, I know you want to play with me. This is where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
So if this team don't offer you that, I'm still here. I'm still here. And that's what KD did.
Right.
But the little medicine to what people's not understanding, there's no pressure whatsoever.
With the Nets.
None.
Yeah. But I get that, and that fits Durant's personality, right? Because he's not.
Because we don't care about the Nets.
Nobody cares. I lived in Brooklyn. I can count on one hand how many Nets hats or jerseys I saw in Brooklyn. Nobody's a fan.
People go to Nets games to see the other star because I know I did 2014. I went and I seen about 10. I seen Stephen Curry live, Dirk Nowitzki. I went to see a whole bunch of other teams live, not the team.
Right. Well, they have a fan base, but it's in Jersey.
It's in Jersey, not Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's just one of the things to do in Brooklyn, just as it is now with the hipsters.
Right.
You know, and all these gentrification people, and it's a real nice place in Brooklyn. It's low pressure. It's just nice. It's the place where you just relax. That's what Brooklyn is now.
Right.
But when you walk into Manhattan, what do you feel?
You feel the Mecca. The Mecca.
The hustle.
Right.
The sweat, the tears, the bust ass, the attitude.
Not the team, though. That team hasn't had much of that in recent years.
But the personality of Manhattan and Brooklyn.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And if Kyrie and KD knew, if they would have went to the Knicks, there would have been some level of pressure because guess what? We'd have been the talk of the town because that's where the real New Yorkers is at. Not Brooklyn. Okay? Not Brooklyn.
Well, I like Brooklyn. I like Brooklyn, Mark.
Listen, I like Brooklyn for what it is and what it brings. They got a decent nightlife and whatever. But it ain't Manhattan. It ain't blue and orange. It ain't the Garden. It ain't Madison's. It ain't the Mecca.
Well, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Kevin Durant can't walk the streets of Manhattan. He can walk the streets of Brooklyn, Atlantic Avenue, Williamsburg, all that other nice shit. But not Manhattan.
Right. I agree. You're right.
When I hear these people talk about, we're happy we didn't get Kevin Durant and Kyrie. You're lying because if they land, we would have been one of the most. We would have been all over Twitter. We're down and out, and now the media is just making fool of us, and we're gonna be the joke of the city for this whole summer going into next year. We signed Julius Randle, good deal, 2 years and out.
I thought it was 3. I thought it was 3 years.
It's a player. It's a team option with the third year. So
Oh, okay, so that's not bad then. That's better than I thought. Okay.
it's decent. And you know what? I just hope he comes here and really want to play because again, I don't trust much players like that coming here and just taking the money. Because he could be just taking the money to taking the money. Because I don't think he would have got that deal anywhere else. That's just me. But I understand people overhyping Julius Randle. Oh, yeah, I like that pick. I like that pick. Well, you wasn't paying attention to him in New Orleans. No one was.
You know what this Randall signing reminds me of though, and he's a little younger, I think, than when we got him, but it reminds me a little bit of Zach Randolph.
Yeah, like just stop.
Yeah.
Like the callers, just come on the phone, say how you really feel. That's what kills me when I watch these streams. People are always optimistic. Bro, we didn't have optimists. It's been 20 years of failure. How can you have optimistic when they've been giving us the most garbage team for years and years?
Mark, man, I feel your pain. I feel your pain, man, because it's been since the Ewing days. We've had a year. We had 1 year where we were really good. We had 1 year.
1 year.
And that was it. And it had nothing to do with Carmelo, by the way. Jason Kidd had a lot to do with that. And then we lose Kidd, and then the team just absolutely falls on its face.
Yeah, it just fell apart. And Chris, you know what kills me the most?
Yeah.
If Porzingis come back at any level that I know he is,
oh God,
we're gonna eat crap.
Oh God, then we basically traded Porzingis for the 20th first round picks. That's basically what we traded.
Guess what? Those picks are. If y'all think that Dallas isn't gonna be good by those picks,
they are. Yeah.
What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah, they are. That's why Dallas isn't stupid. Dallas isn't stupid. They knew what they were doing. They know that those are going to be late first round picks.
You know what people kills me too? People forgot that Dennis Smith got 2 bad knees in the back. Oh, he's young. He's young. He's gonna develop into a good player. Guess what? 2 knees that could end his career and a bad back. And all Porzingis had was a knee injury in 1 leg, and took 2 years off. You're telling me he's not healthy?
Yeah, I hope he is. I want to see Porzingis do well.
What?
But
I'm going to go to the first Knicks game, and I'm going to be wearing a Dallas jersey with Porzingis number on it.
Oh no, Mark, you can't do that.
I'm going to do it because you know what? I'm sick of all this happy Knicks fans of what happened today. I'm not happy.
I'm glad you're not. You have every right not to be. I'm not happy. I've calmed down. You know, I've had 3 or 4 hours to calm down, but I'm not happy.
These true New Yorkers fans that have KD and Kyrie and that other a black and white jersey. Who want to watch TV with a black and white jersey? That don't make no sense. But you know what? I'm gonna let the chat, diss me or some agree with me, but I don't care. Because the real New Yorkers are hurting because they wanted those guys at MSG. Okay?
I love Mark, man. I always love talking to you. I know you've been MIA, but I know you told me you were going to take a break because you were nervous with the whole free agency and all that, and I'm glad you're back. But yeah, a sad day right now for the Knicks. And
have a great show, man. Chat, I love y'all. Man, this one it's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah, man. I hear you, man.
It's a 30-win team back in the lottery. Let's get another lottery pick, and let's build from there.
That's all we could do at this point. I mean, that's our only option.
Because we're stuck.
Yeah.
Because I don't know big free agent going to want to come here in future references.
The only way we're getting a big free agent, in my opinion, Barrett has to pan out. Barrett has to be
Barrett has to be the next. Barrett has to be all-star going into superstar. Like, he has the potential to be a superstar.
Yeah, he has to take off like Porzingis to only stay healthy for us to attract a superstar.
He had an all-star, and we traded him for a bunch of bones.
That's what happened at the end of the day. We trade him for Julius Randle. We trade him for Julius Randle and a little cap space. Yeah.
Good night, yo.
All right, Mark. Thank you for the call.
Chat talking.
All right, buddy. Thank you for the call. And what's going on, Whitney? Thank you for being here. Who else? Fonta Bomba in the house. Need Mo Comics in the house. Reg Ice in the house. Thank you guys for being here. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, Chris, Dolphin Doofus. How's it going? It's your boy, Bigger Mike.
Bigger Mike.
A.K.A. your favorite dark skin. A.K.A. EDC's son. How are you doing?
What's going on, buddy? I know you're a big Phillies fan, so you're a Sixers fan. So I know you guys brought back Harris, but what's up, man? What do you want to talk about?
I didn't come here to talk about Philly. I came here to talk about how people are overhyping the Nets so much it makes me sick. It makes me sick.
Explain.
All right, they got Kyrie. Great. Number one, Kyrie's not a leader. Kyrie will get you to the playoffs. Kyrie's not going to get you to the finals. And then like KD, he's going to come back. He's going to help Kyrie. KD will never be the same player again. And I could say that with I don't like to say it because obviously you don't like to see anybody get injured like that. You don't want to see that happen to anybody. But I personally think, based off his play style, that he'll ever be the same player again. He may still be decent, but he'll never be the superstar that he once was. And I don't think he'll ever be worthy of that contract that they gave him.
He's not going to be able to rely on his athletic ability like he used to. I agree with that.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say about his game, though, is I think he has the ability to not be a supreme athlete and still be a great basketball player.
You may be right about that. You may be, but I've made a few bold predictions today. And I took some heat for him. But I actually made this one yesterday, actually, so not today. But this one I made yesterday, and I said that for the rest of their respective careers, Clay will be better than Kevin Durant. Because with Clay's play style, Clay's more of a get the ball. He's a spot up shooter. He can be an offensive threat without having him be all athletic and stuff because that's not his game.
Right.
Yeah, he may fall off a little defensively because obviously you have to move. But I think Clay will be better than KD for the rest of their careers.
I love Klay Thompson. I think he's one of the most underrated players in basketball. And I think he got overlooked a little bit because of all the talent they had over there in Golden State. But Klay Thompson, a lot of people don't realize how good of a defensive player Klay Thompson is. So I love Klay Thompson. I would have loved if the Knicks could have got their hands on him. I knew it was never going to happen. So basically your take on this is if you were a Knicks fan, which you're not, you would be happy that we didn't get Durant.
Yes. I would be happy that we didn't get Durant because I would hate to give him the max contract knowing he'll never be worthy of it again.
Now, if you were the Knicks GM, what would be your plan for this team going forward?
My plan would be to sign a young talent that can develop into somebody that would be worthy of a max contract, kind of like signing a Julius Randle like you did today. Not to a max contract, but signing young players that can develop into one, and then signing veterans to less money to help these young guys out. Maybe sign a Patrick Beverly or something like that to come off the bench and mentor these young guys.
How about a Brook Lopez?
Yeah, something like that. Not necessarily Brook Lopez, but you get the idea.
Right.
I think in a few years the Knicks can. I might take some heat for this. I think in a few years they can be better than the Nets. Because with this team, the Nets that they have, they honestly should have just kept D'Lo. They should have just kept D'Lo. I
will say, if I was a Nets fan, now they may have needed to bring in Kyrie to lure Durant, and I know you don't like Durant, but obviously the Nets did, which is why they might have done that. But I completely agree with you that I would rather D'Lo, when you factor in age, when you factor in Kyrie's injury history. Now I know D'Lo had an injury as well, and you factor in the reputation Kyrie has in the locker room. I completely agree. I would have rather had D'Lo than Kyrie. He's 5 years younger.
Yeah, and I've been talking to Nets fans about this, and they're all like, "Yeah, D'Lo's great. Yeah, he's younger. Blah blah blah." This is generational talent we have here, and Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Who cares? D'Angelo Russell can easily be a generational. He can be on Kyrie's level of status, if not higher than him. He can be better than Kyrie in the future, and he's a better leader and a better locker room presence.
Right. I completely agree with you. I think D'Lo was the better fit, but they may have needed to sign Kyrie to lure Kevin Durant.
I can get that. I just think the Nets. I think they made a complete mistake. I feel like they're gonna regret it.
We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see. But anything else, buddy?
Yes, I would also like to talk about people are dogging on my Sixers for no reason. No reason. I feel like we're still going to be good. We probably losing Jimmy Butler, but with all the signings, if everything goes right, I feel like we're still title contenders and probably better than we were last year. Because with all the rumors with Jimmy Butler signing trades to the Heat and stuff, we could honestly be better than last year if we trade him for draft picks that we traded mid-season this year, and then better role players. Because the role play on that team last year was awful. We had like James Ennis, Mike Scott. It was horrid. Jonathan Simmons. It was terrible. That was part of the reason we weren't as good. We weren't as good last year. Like we were good, but not like a 1-2 seed. And that's part of the reason we lost to Toronto, in my opinion, because the bench was so bad.
We'll see. But anything else, buddy?
Yes, I would also like to talk about the Knicks. People are dogging on my Sixers for no reason. No reason. I feel like we're still going to be good. Yeah, we losing Jimmy Butler, but with all the signings, if everything goes right, I feel like we're still title contenders and probably better than we were last year. Because with all the rumors with Jimmy Butler signing trades to the Heat and then better role players. Because Rope
I think Jimmy Butler, and now again, Jimmy Butler's another guy that doesn't have the best locker room reputation, but he is a great two-way player. He's probably your best defensive player. I think you'd probably agree with that, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. He's our best defensive player.
I don't know. You guys are. I still think you guys are going to be good, and I think we have to see what happens with Kawhi Leonard because that could reshape the Eastern Conference. But I don't know. I don't think you guys are going to be what you were. But the Eastern Conference may have gotten weaker, so it's hard to say.
I truly feel as if we could be better, and I really feel like we could be better.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, man. But Mike, I got a guy calling in. I just want to get this call. I just want to say thank you for calling in, buddy. Thank you for being a great subscriber.
All right, no problem. You make it easy. You're very entertaining, dude. Chat. I'll see you, and goodbye.
All right, Mike. All right, that's Bigger Mike. Thank you. Oh, I didn't mean to hang up on him. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. How you doing?
What's up, player?
What's going on?
Boy.
What's going on? Who's this?
It's me, Christian.
Oh, what's going on, man? How you been, Christian? Big Knicks fan.
What's going on, my man? What a day.
Kevin Durant is not going on, that's for sure.
Entertainer, my friend. I feel like every time I call in, I gotta calm you down over something. Okay, so all right. To give a quick recap. Yes, obviously, as a Knicks fan, I'm very, very, very disappointed.
I don't mean to interrupt you, though. I don't know if you know this. They're saying it in the chat. The New York Knicks just signed Taj Gibson, 2 years, $20 million.
Is there a player option? I mean, is there a team option in there?
I don't know. We'll see what the chat says. But Gibson, of course, power forward, kind of like a throwback.
Oh no, Taj Gibson. I mean, look, he's a fine veteran player. You know, he'll probably take Mitchell Robinson under his wing, be a small ball backup five. You know, it's fine. You know, as long as there's a team option after 1 year, $10 million is not gonna, you know, do a whole lot of harm for us. To me, this is a smaller Enes Kanter type of deal.
Yeah, probably a guy that's good there to mentor Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, but again, going back to Durant and Kyrie Irving. Listen. Even though I personally would have taken the chance that Kevin Durant is going to come back and be, you know, an MVP caliber player. But on the other hand, I can't really bash the Knicks over this decision because you do have to look at it from a larger picture. Number one, it seems to me Kyrie Irving was all set on going to Brooklyn anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number two, do you want to give Kevin Durant a max contract knowing he's going to be gone for a year, knowing that, again, this is the worst possible injury any athlete could recover from? There's a reason why there's only been one player who's been able to somewhat recover from this injury. Now, I think out of anybody, I think Durant could have probably done the same thing given his talent. He doesn't rely on pure athletic ability. He's more like a 7-foot version of Steph Curry. I get that.
Right.
But the Knicks aren't in a position where, like, look, Durant, you're coming off of a torn Achilles, okay? We're not built, even with you, we're probably not built to contend for a title right away. So, let's preserve this cap space. Again, listen, the Julius Randle contract, I like it a lot, but the main reason why I like it is because we got a really good player on a really good contract.
Mm-hmm.
You know, going into free agency, when I heard that we were probably a rumor to get Julius Randle, I'm probably thinking, oh, God, we're probably going to have to overspend for him. But the fact that you were able to get him on a 3-year, $63 million deal with a team option in the final year, I'll take that all day, every day, twice on Sunday.
Well, yeah, no, the option after 2 years is vital. I did not know that when they saw. I wasn't very upset with that deal, even with 3 years. It's just that it hurts the ability to get a max player. But having the ability to cut it after 2 years is a vital part of that deal.
So again, and listen, the Nets, congratulations on getting arguably two of the top guys.
Oh, two of the top 3 free agents in this year's class, no doubt about it.
Correct.
Yeah,
2 of the top 3 free agents coming into this year. Congratulations on that. But I just feel like us as a don't just buy into the name and the shock value. Take the emotion out of it and look at it straight on. Kevin Durant is going to be 32 years old by the time he plays another game, and he's coming off of a torn Achilles injury. Okay, think about this for a minute. We're not built to win a title right away. So,
well, no, it would have been 2 years. It wouldn't have been this year. It would have been 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's preserve this money. Give it to a player that we feel like is going to be either part of our young core moving forward, or in this case, a Taj Gibson who's going to come in and be a mentor. Okay, if you're not going to get the top flight free agents, go for it. Go for the reasonably priced ones, and just make sure that the contract is okay.
Well, you can't do what they did with Tim Hardaway. That's an issue. Yeah.
Exactly. That was my number one fear when we were able to move off all these bad deals after the Porzingis trade. That was my number one fear. Yes, obviously, I would love to get Durant and Kyrie Irving, but what would scare me more so than anything else, we just go right back into giving, big contracts to undeserving players. That's not how you do it. You build through the draft. You sign the right guys. And look, I'm not predicting that this is going to happen. Who's to say R.J. Barrett isn't going to be a perennial All-Star? Who's to say? I still have a whole ton of faith in this young Knicks core, and as long as we're able to develop them and make sure that we have cap space moving forward, we're going to be fine. We're going to be okay. Just keep building this team the right way.
I like your optimism, but it's tough.
I'm telling you, we're going to be okay.
It's tough, man, when you've been watching this team as long as we have, and we haven't seen results in 20 years. So I get what you're saying. It's just hard to sell that to the fans, especially after everybody was banking on us this summer. Just like the LeBron summer, right? We were banking on getting a premier superstar, and we didn't, and we missed again. We struck out. Now, the one thing I will say, from a glass half full approach, the Knicks did not do what they did when they missed out on LeBron and sign a guy like Amari Stoudemire with 2 bum knees to a max contract. So
that was probably the Knicks' fear going into this when Durant asked for a max deal.
Right.
So again, thanks for inviting me on there. I love you, love the show, and I'll talk to you later, my man.
Christian, thank you for being a great subscriber. I appreciate the call, buddy.
Oh, no problem. I'll at you later.
All right, my man. Have a good one. What's going on, Bavi? Thank you for popping in, my man. What's going on, Carlos Rodriguez? Kid Blues in the house. Yeah, we got that guy just hung up as soon as I picked up. Yeah, we got Taj Gibson, 2 years, $20 million, $10 million a year. Not sure if it carries a 1-year opt-out. Haven't been able to look into the contract there. Waiting for callers here, as I lost that guy who was just calling in. But, 2 years, $20 million for Taj Gibson. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, man. First off, just want to say congratulations, and I love your show.
I appreciate that. Who's this?
No doubt. This is actually 11 Sports. I've been commenting on a lot of your recent videos as a Mets fan.
Oh, all right. Very good. Oh, you know what? I think I know who you are. Yeah. What's up, man?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to say, I just think this whole summer was hilarious because every sports pundit on TV kept telling KD and Kyrie, why would you go to the Nets? And I was arguing with people in your comment section like, the Knicks are the franchise. I just don't understand where the Knicks get all this prestige from. And I watched the Knicks and the Nets both since early 2000, like 1999.
Okay.
I just don't. I don't understand where all the prestige comes from.
Yeah, I mean it's not in recent history, that's for sure. But you're from New York, I assume.
New Jersey.
Okay, so I mean New York's a basketball city. They love their basketball. It's just the Knicks. I mean the Knicks, when the Knicks are good, and you haven't seen it other than for a year or two, but when the Knicks are good, they own New York. They are them or the Yankees are the two most popular teams in New York. It's just that the Knicks haven't been good in forever. The one thing I will say, you're a Nets fan, you should be happy, man. The Nets, they have a very bright future. Even before these moves, they've done a great job. Ever since they made the trades they made, that horrible trade with the Celtics that set the franchise back. But since they did that, they've rebounded very nicely, drafting well with some of the players that you guys have on your roster. And now you bring it. Now, the one thing I will say, would you have rather kept Russell or would you have rather brought in Kyrie?
Absolutely not. And people who were saying that, I didn't understand that at all because Russell's a nice player, but you could tell he was a product of Kenny Atkinson. He was a product of the system.
Okay.
Because Karis LeVert was an all-star before he went down, and then Russell just picked up the pieces, and he averaged, I think it was like 19 to 20.
I think he averaged 21 and 7, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong on that.
Okay, yeah. Somewhere around there, and he was an all-star in the East. I never thought Russell was special, and he's definitely not on the level of Kyrie.
Oh, I agree with that. Now, the argument that I would make for Russell is, I agree Kyrie's definitely more talented. The argument I would make for Russell as opposed to Kyrie, he's 5 years younger. Kyrie's had some injury troubles. Now, I think D'Lo has too, if I'm not mistaken, early in his career. But Kyrie doesn't have the best locker room reputation either. So those are some things I would worry about a little bit. But Kyrie wants to be here, probably wants to be the leader, so hopefully it works out for you guys.
One more thing, I do want to respond to that locker room issue with Kyrie. Would you agree that I'm going to put it in a hypothetical question for you? If me and you were on the basketball team, sir, and we were playing well, and then we had another guy who was hurt, this being Gordon Hayward,
right,
who was hurt, and he came back and was taking minutes from you or me, hurting our progression because he was making more money. Wouldn't that favoritism and obvious, like, okay, the sense that you have to play him, he's making that money, I get it. It was in a bad situation all around. You can't sit him on the bench, but at the same time, you got Tatum and Brown and all these other guys who, Terry Rozier, that's going to cause a bunch of problems. But I'm not putting that all on Kyrie. I'm putting that on the fact that Gordon Hayward went down with that injury, and then it was just a bad snowfall from there.
You might be right. You might be right. I'd be happy if I were you. I was hoping for the exact same duo you got, and I just want to say thank you to Carlos Rodriguez for the super chat. He says the Knicks aren't more popular than the Giants. Tane, I'm sorry, just my opinion. Carlos Rodriguez, you're absolutely entitled to your opinion, and I completely get it. But I will say, in my personal opinion, when the Knicks and Giants are on equal footing, meaning both are playing good, I actually do think the Knicks are more popular than the Giants. The Giants are immensely popular. But
I'm a Giants fan too. But
yeah, and it's close. But I think I really do think that the Knicks are more popular when the Knicks are good. It's just that the Knicks haven't been good in forever.
Yeah, I can't remember since y'all went to the playoffs. Like, I think the last time the Knicks went to the playoffs when they played us, right, in 2000.
No. With Carmelo, we went to the second round.
Oh yeah, correct. Okay, correct.
Yeah, and we made it a few times. We got swept by the Heat. We lost 4-1 in the Heat. That was that embarrassing game with Amari Stoudemire when we played the Heat and Amari punched the fire alarm when we were down 3-0. The glass got in his hand. So we made it a few times with that duo, but didn't have sustained success.
People give Amari a lot of crap. I remember that. I remember when Amari first came to the Knicks. He wasn't the problem. The problem was when y'all got Melo, because Amari was killing it that first.
Amari the first year was great, but then the knees gave out.
True.
You know, and the Knicks signed him on that max deal knowing he had the bad knees. They took the gamble and they lost. But no, the Carmelo trade ended up being a horrible trade. You can't argue against that. I don't think anybody would argue against that.
Yeah, that was so bad. But last thing for I'll let somebody else get in here. Last thing, I don't think we're gonna win a ring with these signings. I'm just happy to be relevant again. Because next year we're not gonna win a ring. KD, I do believe KD could come back in the playoffs if we get deep enough. Like if we say second round, I believe they shouldn't because he'll probably do the team like.
Yeah, you don't want to rush it. You don't want to rush it.
True.
But
I don't see a ring.
You might. You never know. I mean, I think of a lot of it is going to depend on what Kawhi Leonard does. If Leonard goes to the Lakers, I would say no. You're probably not getting a ring.
Yeah, I hope that would be devastating.
Yeah, it would be horrible for the league. I mean, if you have the three of the top five, six, seven players in the league on the same team, it's just not good for the NBA.
Oh my, yeah, because the West wasn't that bad. Like Clay is great, but he's not top 10 in the league. So
yeah, I mean, Anthony Davis, you could argue is one of the 3 or 4 most talented players. LeBron James, you could still argue is the best. I don't know if I would put him there, but you could argue it. And then you bring in Kawhi Leonard, who you could argue is the best. So I mean, it would be crazy.
Especially with KD down, that's probably top 3 right there.
You could, yeah. Well, I mean, you still got Antetokounmpo and Harden, but those guys, any one of those guys, you could argue if they have a great year, could be the MVP. All 3 of them, which is crazy.
And every time you bring something up, I'll probably just keep blabbing. So I'm gonna let somebody else.
Hey man,
I can't wait to get to the next video with you.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you being a great subscriber, man.
No doubt, man. Thank you.
All right, have a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna let people talk a little longer tonight because it doesn't seem it's that crowded. So I like to let people talk a little longer when the show's not as crowded. Let's get this next caller. Oh man, oh there it is. I think we got Mr. Chris Sinor on the phone.
Well, looky what we got here. What we got?
Oh man, before you talk, Sinor, I'm gonna let you talk for a while. I just want to say thank you so much, Carlos Rodriguez, for the super chat. He says it's because we're more used to success from the Giants than the Knicks, so we take it for granted. That's why it may seem the Knicks are more popular. That's very possible, Carlos. Very fair point. It's close, you know. You can make arguments for both teams, and obviously I love my Giants just as much as anybody else. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh well, another disappointing moment for the Knicks. You know, the Knicks really, they really blew it here. I blame James Dolan for this, most likely because he didn't let the offer for the max contract go through. They didn't. I mean, trash.
Yeah. Now I don't know. You know what? I think Chris Sinor. I just lost Sinor. I didn't hang up on him. I think he lost me. Sinor, go ahead and call back in. Call back in, Sinor. I know your number. Call back in. What's going on, Dire Giants fan? What's going on, Jeff Billings? He says, "What's up, Christian?" I'm doing good, man. Well, I'm not doing good, but I'm glad to be back live. Haven't been able to do it with the move and everything, so I'm glad to be back on live. I'm going to try to go live a few more times in this month for sure. So glad to be back on live, but I'm not happy. Obviously, I was expecting Kevin Durant, hoping for Kevin Durant, and we missed out on him. No, I did not cut Chris Sinor. Call back in. Call back in. You just dropped out. What's going on, Silent Gamer? Thank you for tuning in the stream. What's going on? NCE says, did the kids see Katie's medical records? I mean, Katie does not have the best. Yeah, Sinor, you must have dropped out there. Sorry about that.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not using my phone, my regular phone. I'm using an old one right now, so probably that.
Okay.
But anyways, it's another dark moment for the Knicks, especially New York. I mean, well, actually, no, not for New York, because technically the Knicks, or not the Knicks, the Nets are part of Brooklyn, so not really that dark. Most of the Giants are improving. I'm really happy to see that. Even though I was joking around in the comment section, don't trust Eli. Eli's a rat. New York's a rat and everything. I'm really happy for you guys. With the Nets, even though they're not even relevant. But also with the Giants, they're looking pretty good. Yankees, Mets are just horrible.
Oh God.
How can you live like that, Chris?
I'm a Mets, Knicks, and Giants fan. You could add all three up, and they're still not going to equal the Yankees win total.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a very sad way of living. But
well, this is coming from a Chargers fan. You guys have never done anything.
Yeah, but look who's talking. You guys went like 11 or not 11. You guys went like 4 and 11 last season. We went 12-4. So
5 and 11. Don't take that win away from us.
Okay, 5 and 11. Okay, freaking picky. But yeah. I mean, was it a bad free agency? Time for the Knicks. Yes and no, because you got Julius Randle, which was okay. Taj Gibson. I don't recall who Taj Gibson is, but
Taj Gibson is he's a good power forward. Played for the Bulls for a bit. He's a solid power forward. He's not a game breaker, but he's a nice player. You know, he'll be a good leadership guy for the younger players.
Yeah. I definitely blame management for this. Definitely management because I mean Kevin Durant's arguably besides LeBron James probably one of the best players in the league right now. And I think even with an injury, I think he can really come back and kind of do something. But who knows? I mean, I think now that James Dolan actually came out and said that they didn't want to sign him to a max deal, I think it adds more speculation because who knows? Are they lying? Yeah, is it true? I think they're really confusing the fans and stuff like that, and I don't really like what they're doing. I mean, they should have just kind of came out clean and just said the truth. They missed on KD, and that's it. I mean, the fans. I'm assuming that the New York fans are gonna, be happier with the truth instead of a cover up.
It might not be a cover up. They might be telling the truth, but in my opinion, I think that the Knicks just missed out, and they don't want to admit that they did to the Nets. But it's possible that they were scared off by the medical records, but I don't think so.
Yeah. Also, did you hear right now? Al Hartford went to the 76ers.
Yeah, somebody just said that in the chat. So Horford.
Jimmy Buckets he's going to Miami.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I made a video on that. I was nervous about that this morning because then I read reports that what's going on, Delano. By the way, thank you for popping in, Max Bird. Thank you for being here.
Delano.
Al Horford though, it's an interesting signing. I was not in favor of him getting a big deal because of his age. You worry about his age. But the Sixers are a win now team, so they may look at it like he may put them over the top. But of course they lost Butler. But I'll tell you, the Sixers now kept Harris. They've got Embiid. They've got Simmons. They got Horford. If you guys don't keep Kawhi, they might be the favorites in the East. If you guys don't keep Kawhi.
Nope, Chris. No, they're not. Okay, so you gotta add in Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid in the playoffs, he's not the best. He's not the solid player. He's like our roster. Siakam, Ibaka, everybody. He's inconsistent. He's not consistent enough. One game he's lights out. Dunks everywhere. Dunk on Gasol and everything. The next game he's crying in the locker room and stuff like that. I mean. You got to be consistent in the playoffs, and Ben Simmons is the same story. Can't shoot. He can't shoot to save.
Simmons can't. I don't think Simmons. Somebody in the chat correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Ben Simmons has never hit a 3-pointer in his NBA career.
Never. There's a video out there 2 minutes long, and it's him. It's just a highlight reel of him not even hitting a 3 in his life. I mean, he's been here 3 years now. I'm pretty sure Mo Bamba, who's been here 1 year and he's a bust, has hit a 3. But Al Hartford, like you said, he's old. Age is a big factor in the NBA. I think he's not worth $109 million. Tobias Harris too, he's not worth $180 million. And I don't know about the 76ers. I think what they're doing is they're kind of I think they're in a rebuild now. They hit the panic button with Tobias Harris.
Yeah, man. We'll see. Tobias Harris, they overpaid $36 million a year. But I just want to say, Kid Blue, if you guys have not checked out Kid Blue, go over to his channel. That kid, I always say, man, he's 21. I just always think he's like 15. That guy puts in so much work on his channel. I love everything he's putting in on his channel. I just don't have enough time to watch his content as much as I'd like. But Kid Blue, go over there and check out his channel. I love that guy. But Sonor, anything else, buddy?
Hope Kawhi Leonard stays. New York's still a jinx. There's still rats. City of rats.
Oh man, you're the best. You're the best. Sonor, man, I'm gonna let you go, buddy. Maybe I'll have you call back in if you want to a little bit later. Go ahead. Go.
One more thing. Did you get your steak medium rare or well done?
Oh, I always get it medium rare. You know that.
My God.
You know that.
What a smart.
You know that.
Smart Chris.
Who eats steak? You have to eat it medium rare. You don't get the flavor.
It's not safe. There's bacteria in the meat. You can die. Like the bacteria can like go into your brain and eat your brains out.
Oh God, Sonor, you are an absolute lunatic, my man. Thank you for the call, buddy.
Yeah, bye. See you later.
All right, buddy. All right. Next call, you're on live. Thank you for calling in. Hello? Who's this?
This is Eric.
What's going on, Eric? How you doing, buddy?
What's up?
Nothing much, man. Just talking to you, buddy. What's going on, Ligma? Thank you for popping in. Poppy Goat in the house. Last Jedi. Thank you for being here. What's going on, buddy?
Let's talk about the Knicks.
Let's talk about the Knicks.
Why is them Knicks didn't get? The guys could have got Kyrie, guys could have got KD. I heard you guys got a small little chance getting Kawhi Leonard. Small, tiny chance.
They're not getting Kawhi Leonard. They're not getting Kawhi.
Because do you think? I'm a Lakers fan. I don't know if the Lakers get Kawhi. But if the Lakers don't get Kawhi, we're not going to the finals for sure. If I don't even think Lakers might not even make the playoffs this year, how what's looking right now.
The Lake, I'm gonna say, obviously you're a Laker fan, so you're hoping for it to happen. But if you're an NBA fan, Kawhi Leonard going to the LA Lakers would be the worst thing for this league.
Hold up.
I'm listening.
KD did the same thing when he went to Golden State. It's not worse what KD did when he went to Golden State, baby. It's not the same. It's a different. He won a ring with the Raptors. He leaving. He wants to go back home. Lakers haven't made a playoff.
Oh, I get from Kawhi's perspective, but from an NBA perspective, you'd have the three best players arguably on the planet on the same team.
Top five. It's only 2 players in top 5.
3. Well, Anthony Davis and LeBron, they're not top 5 players.
No. AD haven't showed us nothing. He haven't proven nothing. If he's really worthy or not.
I guess, but I think it would be horrible for the league if Leonard goes there because they're guaranteed championship unless they have injuries.
But
because I'm looking at the NBA landscape right now. If Kawhi doesn't go there, look how competitive this league can be. That's exactly what it needs. Look at the NFL. The NFL always has competitiveness. Look around the league right now. If he doesn't go there, the Jazz could compete in the West. The Lakers can still compete in the West. The Denver Nuggets, the Portland Trailblazers. In the East, it's wide open. So go ahead.
What would your thoughts would be if Kawhi Leonard went to the Golden State Warriors because KD's gone?
He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that.
You never know. We never thought KD would have went to the.
Do they even have enough space to? Do they even have enough space to do? I guess they do because KD left, but they just signed Clay, so I don't think they have enough space.
He could use the lead medium, the lead medium section.
No, he's not going to do that. Kawhi Leonard's going to get his money.
Do you think he goes back home to LA? Do you think he goes?
I think he either stays in Toronto or he goes. He's either going to the Lakers, the Clippers. I guess the Clippers are still in play because that's what we've heard. Or he stays with Toronto. I don't think there's any other possible destination.
What's your thoughts? Where do you think he's really going? In your honest opinion.
That's tough, man. If I were him, I would stay in Toronto. Because I look at it like I carved out a legacy. I'm the guy. I am a god in Toronto. Why am I going to leave and join a franchise like the Lakers with all the history they have? They have their gods. They got Magic Johnson. They got Kobe Bryant. They got Shaq. They got LeBron. Why am I going over there? It doesn't make sense to me.
Come home to LA.
Then go to the Clippers. Go to the Clippers where you could be a god over there. Why am I joining a ready-made team when I already have proven I could do it on my own. Why am I doing that? And I'm not saying he won't do it. I'm not saying he won't do it. I just think it would be foolish.
But look at this. This Lakers fans have been to the playoffs for 6 years. It's time for a change. We haven't been to the finals.
Well, you guys, I'll break it to you right now. You guys are going to the playoffs this year, with or without Kawhi. You guys are going to the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that.
Who's going to stop us in the West?
I don't know. You know, I mean, the West I think is wide open. I think you guys are going to get Russell. If I had to guess, I think you guys get Russell, and you guys would be the favorites. But I don't think you guys are shoo-ins to win. If you get Kawhi, you're shoo-ins. The Nuggets. The Nuggets, the Blazers, Utah Jazz with Conley and Bogdanovic. They got Utah Jazz could be a sneaky team right there. They have a very good defense. A team that I could see playing very well in the playoffs. I like the Utah Jazz a lot. But we'll have to wait and see. I think it's gonna be a fun year. I'm gonna let you go in case. Oh, go ahead. One more question. Go ahead.
I forgot about the Pelicans. What's your thoughts on the Pelicans trade? Who do you think who wanted to trade between the Pelicans and the Lakers? Who do you think who wanted to trade?
I mean, I think it's yet to be determined. I think if the Lakers win it, I think it's a win-win for both. I really do. Because the Lakers are in a win-now situation. LeBron James is 34 years old. He's not getting younger. They had to make that move. They had to make that move. Because by the time the team gets good enough to compete, if those players develop, LeBron's going to be 36, 37. So the Lakers are looking at like, we need to win now. Well, LeBron still has some gas left in the tank. So they went out, they got Davis. And from a Pelicans fan's perspective, this guy's leaving no matter what. And we got, how many picks they got? They got, what, 3 picks?
3 picks in the first
round. They got the 4th overall selection, which then they, of course, got more picks for.
Yeah. That was crazy, though. I didn't know how they did it. But Lakers messed up on that part because I think we should have waited for the July 30th to set the trade back.
Well, yeah, but if you wait, they might trade him somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
You know, they might trade him to the net. You don't know. You know, so they saw an opportunity, they jumped on it. But buddy, I'm gonna let you go. I just want to say thank you so much for the call, my man.
You're welcome. You're welcome, bud.
All right, have a good one. I'm a Laker fan, so I can say that. Yeah, more titles, homie. Let's get 17. Carlos Rodriguez, man, you guys, Lakers fans should be excited for next year. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling. Lakers fans should be excited almost every year. You guys have gone through a little dry spell here, but you guys are usually at the top. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
This is the sports critic.
Oh my God. Well. If it isn't Amir, a big Orlando Magic fan, you guys brought back Nikola. What do you think of? What do you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about Nikola. I was very happy with that sign, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, 4 years, $100 million. I mean, they need him. He led them to the playoffs. I was very happy what the Magic did. But I was actually looking at what the Knicks did tonight, and I am very upset because they only got 1 player. Well, 2, but Todd Gibson isn't much. So.
Yeah, well, they got Julius Randle. The one thing I will say about Randle, which I didn't know, because I had to go live, it's a 3-year contract, but after 2 years, it's a team option. So
I like the Julius Randle deal. I do like.
Yeah, there's nothing to lose there. Because they're not gonna. If you look at next year's free agency class, there's not a lot of big names. So I don't mind the Randle signing at all. And Taj Gibson's fine. It's 2 years. He's a veteran mentor. Now this guy's not gonna make the Knicks a good team, but Taj Gibson I think will bring in some veteran leadership. He's been in the league for a while. A guy that could maybe teach Mitchell Robinson some things down low. And Randle, maybe he develops into something. He had his best year of his career last year, 21 points, 9 rebounds. So he's starting to get better and better. Maybe he develops into something. We'll see. But obviously, it's a big letdown from what we were all hoping.
Yeah, I mean, I remember beginning before you were thinking that they were going to get Kyrie and KD, and this is just a lot worse than we thought was going to happen for New York.
Of course. I mean, we were sold that for a while now that the Knicks are going to be getting Kyrie and KD, and it didn't work out, just like LeBron didn't work out. And we got to go back to the drawing board and hope we could, it's going to take a while. It's not going to happen overnight. The Knicks will not be a good team for at least 2 more years.
Do you think the Knicks will just be one of those teams that have to just build around the draft, I guess?
Well, I mean, in an ideal world, that's the way you're supposed to do it. You look at the Golden State Warriors; they built through the draft. Their three best players before they got Durant were all through the draft, right? Draymond Green, obviously Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. They were built through the draft. Most great teams are built through the draft, and then you bring in free agents to, I guess, help the process, right? But the Knicks need to get to that point rather than continuing to try to skip it, right? And that's what they've done. They have a ton of first-round picks. Now they have 6 first-round picks in the next 4 years. Obviously, last year, Kevin Knox, R.J. Barrett this year. So they're going to have youth, and they hopefully draft good. If they draft well, they should have something to entice somebody to come play here in free agency.
Yeah, what do you think about the Brooklyn Nets? Do you think that they could? How far do you think they'll go?
Well, obviously Durant's not playing this year, so I'm not going to say that they're a title team this year. But last year, playoff team. I think they'll be a playoff team again this year, as long as Kyrie stays healthy. They have a lot of good young talent on that team, so they've drafted well. The Nets, they really have the last couple of years, rebounding from that horrible trade with the Celtics. I think the Nets, in 2 years, I think they could contend to win a championship. But this year, I'll say maybe a second-round playoff team if things break right. Definitely a playoff team, bare minimum.
Yeah. So, what did you think about Jimmy Butler going to the Miami Heat and then Horford going to the Sixers? Yeah,
I see Josh Satori's in here. I know he's a big Miami Heat fan, so congratulations to him. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Butler, I'm surprised. And I know he's a Heat fan, and he's happy, and if I was a Heat fan, I'd be happy. But from Jimmy Butler's perspective, he was in Philadelphia, right? Philadelphia, the Sixers were in contend for a championship this year, and I still think they are. And he had the option to potentially go to Houston, who's a ready-made team. Butler might have put them over the top to win in the West. So, from a competitive standpoint, it doesn't make any sense to me. Miami does not give him the best chance to win, but he might just be looking at like, I want to be happy, I want to be the guy, and I go over to Miami and help them make the playoffs. That's the way I look at it.
Everybody was off on Jimmy Butler. People were saying that he was going to go to so many different teams, and he somehow went to Miami Heat. I think this is the biggest surprise for me.
That was a big surprise for me. I'll tell you, Nikola re-signing with you guys was a bit of a surprise for me. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to re-sign so quickly. I thought he was going to take some... free agency this year, it seems like the players are just joining the teams like right away.
Right.
Instead of like... Usually in free agents, it's a couple of days. They, sit with other teams, but it's so quick. Everybody's signing so quick except Kawhi Leonard. Now, this is the question. Where do you think Kawhi Leonard goes?
I think Leonard... That is so tough, man. I think it's L.A. or it's Toronto.
I hope it's not L.A.
Well, you and me both. If it's L.A., hopefully it's the Clippers. But if I'm Leonard, and who knows, he might not be happy in Canada. But if I'm Leonard, I have an opportunity to be one of the greatest players who ever lived if I could stay in Toronto and build a legacy there. I don't want to go to a ready-made champion. I want to continue to build the legacy that I have built. I think I'm good enough to win another one. Why am I going to leave to join two superstars and get a championship nobody's ever going to give me any credit for? So if I'm Leonard, and now maybe he's thinking differently. He might not be thinking about it from a legacy standpoint. He might not care. When you and me in 10 years debate over who's the 10 greatest players ever, he may not care about that. He might just care about his brand. He might care about where he lives. But if he cares about that, he stays in Toronto.
Oh, my God. I agree with you 100%. I would be furious. I actually made a video about this. I would be so mad. I don't know if I could watch the NBA, man. That's how mad I would be if Kawhi went to that team, just because who's going to beat that team? Like, nobody. I don't really see anybody then.
No, they without injuries, nobody.
No, and you know what else? They said Jimmy Butler was going to try to go to the Rockets or whatever, but that didn't even happen. Jimmy Butler just, I'm sorry, that's just so crazy. And Horford also, I did not think Horford was going to go to the 76ers.
Horford, yeah, I'll tell you, it seems to me, and maybe it worked out for the Sixers, because they do have talent, obviously. They definitely overpaid for Harris, and obviously I'm not a big Horford guy. It seems to me the Sixers panicked a little bit because they lost Butler and they said we are in win now mode. We cannot let all these players go. We gotta spend here and bring in some guys to try to compete and fill in for Butler, and that's what they did. I think they panicked a little bit. They overpaid, but they were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because they're at a point now where Embiid's going to be hitting the market at some point. Simmons is going to be hitting the market at some point. They got to go for it now. They probably have a 1 or 2 year window, and they went for it.
Did you not hear about Simmons, though? They're trying to extend him right now.
Yeah, well, my point is it's going to fill up the cap, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. But anything else to me? I got a guy calling like 10 times.
Yeah, no, I know. I just this free agency is really crazy, and
oh man, I just want. What's going on, Matt? Guys, thank you for tuning in the stream. Boys for Life in the house. What's going on, Boys for Life? Thank you for tuning in. I just want to say thank you for calling in. Thank you for putting in all the work you do on your channel. If you guys haven't done so, please go over to Sports Critic. Check that guy out. He puts in a lot of work on his channel, so please check him out.
yeah, me and Noah Cahill. Just one last thing I want to say before I go. Me and Noah Cahill, we actually streamed for 4 hours on this, or like 3.5 hours.
Oh wow, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'll check it out after.
And one last thing, as soon as we ended the stream, that's when the Jimmy Butler news came in.
Oh man.
And, always love what you're doing on your channel, and yeah, take care, and I'll be watching.
Yeah, do me a favor, type in the chat so some people can join your channel over there. All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, take care.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Let me take this call here. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hello?
Hello? Who's this? Hello?
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 In 3.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Oh, hello. I did. So you heard about the Pelicans and they got JJ Redick. Do you think that they could be like a surprise team?
Do I think the Pelicans could be a surprise? What's a surprise to you? A team that could make the playoffs? A team that could contend for a championship?
Like, at least conference.
So you mean win the Western Conference?
Or at least make it to the conference game.
No, I don't think they can do that. But I do think that the Pelicans have a bright future. I think that they got as much as they possibly could for AD, and I do like what they're doing. But no, I think they're too young. I don't think you could bank on them to be a... They might make the playoffs. Maybe they get an 8 seed, 7 seed. But I don't see them doing any damage in the playoffs.
How long do you think they're going to be like a legit contender?
I don't know their cap situation offhand. Obviously, I think they probably have enough for a 1 max slot minimum. I would say 2 years, probably. They could be a contender. I would say 2 years.
And one last thing. What are the Knicks doing? I can't even watch.
What are the Knicks doing? Unfortunately, the Knicks... I mean, I can't blame the Knicks for this. It's not their fault that... Well, I don't know if the reports are true that they didn't want to sign Durant because of his medical history. It is what it is. I would have signed him because you still have the ability to tank 1 more year. You get another high draft pick, and then Durant comes back. You hope he's healthy. He's worth the gamble, in my opinion. And you sign him to some kind of insurance contract. I don't think that's true. I think they missed out on the guy. But the Knicks right now, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. They only have one option. They have to continue to build through the draft. That's all they can do. And they can't waste money on long-term contracts on players that are not worth it, which is what they've done in the past. And it's nice to see that they're not doing this now. Julius Randle's basically a 2-year contract because the 3rd year's an option. They could dump him if they want to. And Taj Gibson, same thing, 2-year contract. So the Knicks didn't commit to a 4 or 5 year deal, which I think was important. And I'm happy that they didn't.
All right, thank you. Bye.
You got it, man. Thank you for the call. Yeah, Knicks signed Taj Gibson, 2 years, $20 million. What's going on, Gary Gaston? Thank you for tuning in. Gabe says, can the Knicks still sign? Yeah, they probably could on a 1-year deal. Maybe 1 year with a 2-second-year option. They probably could. They have enough cap space. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Chris, the entertainer.
Is
Talking
it
sports. How are you today, sir?
This sounds like that nice, smooth Texas Liberty voice.
That's me. Man, I was thinking about you today, and I just knew that you'd be upset, Chris.
Yeah.
But look, you know what I'm going to say, probably. I think the Knicks are blessed, Chris, and I think you guys... understandably so, because you had your heart set on some things.
Right.
But the caller earlier who pointed it all out really clear, and you know what he said was true, where the Knicks have done this time and time again, where they get an aging guy who was once the superstar, and he's broken. They bet everything on him for 1 year. It doesn't work. They're set back for 10 more years. They've done this so many times. This time, Chris, they're doing it right. And I know that you wanted a championship soon, but like you said, it's going to take a build of 3 years.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, no, they're not going to be competitive for the next 2 years. I think at this point, Knicks fans have to accept that. I mean, there's nothing else you can do. You have to realize that we're young, we're building through the draft, and when the team is ready to pounce, that's when we'll hopefully go out and be able to sign a big free agent.
There will come a day when you sign somebody like a Rodman, and it will be a game changer, and he will fill in every spot that you needed, and it'll be the glory days again, Chris.
I hope so.
I promise you this is going to happen.
I hope so, man.
But it's not going to happen this year.
No, it's not.
It's going to happen, Chris. I know you're a diehard fan, but I know you're a man of faith.
I am, man. I hope. Go ahead, buddy.
As well, as in God as well. But I mean, you have faith in it specifically. You have faith in this city.
Yeah.
And it's going to be all right, man. I promise you. I promise you. Your passion is going to turn to joy. All that sadness that you had today, and that you had with Porzingis, in a few years, I guarantee you, Chris, is going to be joy beyond the scales of what you can comprehend.
I hope from
all of this will be worth it.
From your lips to God's ears. And I will. The Knicks have to draft well for any of this to work. They have to draft well. And I do think Barrett was a good pick. And they have 6 first-round picks. That's what I keep telling myself. We have 6 first-round picks in the next 4 years. So there's going to be opportunity to bring in really talented young players on cheap contracts. And then hopefully in 3 years from now, 2-3 years from now, you get that one guy that puts you over the top. It just sucks because I've been waiting forever for the Knicks to be competitive, and we thought this year was going to be the year after they made that move that they were going to be able to bring in these guys, and it didn't work out.
I know how you feel, man.
Yeah.
It looks like you're just going to have to go to some Spurs games and just add on a second team until the Knicks get better.
You know what? While I'm down in Dallas, I might. San Antonio's far, so I'll probably go to some Maverick games for sure. But I'm looking forward to the Mavericks. The Mavericks gonna be a fun team this year with Porzingis and Doncic. Spurs got a pretty good team too. I respect the hell out of Popovich. He's unbelievable.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, you look at what Pop does. I want you. What does he do? Is just not make mistakes. That's his number one thing. And I want you to be proud of your Knicks because they've eclipsed what they were, and that was complete f-ups. They didn't really do that. They handled the situation they were given, which hasn't been great, but they handled it, Chris. They did not panic. They did not storm. They didn't fire the torpedoes. They didn't bet everything on one shot, which they've done 10 times in a row, and it hasn't worked. They've stayed calm. That's how champions behave. They're calm. They deal with the situation. They're behaving like future champions. They're not behaving like rookies.
I hope so, man. I know. I get what you're saying, man. And that's the only course the Knicks can take at this point. They have to be patient, and they have to hope that they can build a youth movement, and it works out. That's all we can do as Knicks fans is hope that they draft properly, and we just have to realize in 2 years. But I completely agree with Delano said in the chat as well. Having Dolan as an owner does not make it easy for this team to be successful because players don't want to play for him.
Right. No, well, I hear you, but there's another reality to New York that's the reason you're leaving, and I don't even have to say it. It's expensive, man.
Oh God.
We don't have to get into that, but that's a huge negative to New York City. Now, it's going to take. I don't know what kind of deals they'll have to make with these players where their taxes are paid as part of their, which would be too expensive for a team to be honest.
That's a great point you bring up. That's a great. Now in this case it didn't matter because the 2 guys we lost went to New York. They just went to a different New York team. But it's a great point you bring up that does come into play sometimes. You do hear that players go to other destinations because of the taxes are that big of a difference, and they are. Especially when you're talking about making $100 million. Now, a guy like me,
So in $100 million, we're talking millions of dollars lost in tax.
Right, because you guys have no state
So that's a
taxes.
big difference.
Yeah.
And then plus the state tax. Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
And then at the store as well, man. I know what is New York? What is your city tax for convenience stores, stuff like that?
Oh God.
Right.
Whenever I go out to dinner, I always know that if I double the tax, that's a good tip. I think it's like 18% if you double the tax.
Right.
So I think the tax is 9%. So I usually double the tax and give a couple more dollars.
And let's talk about real estate prices just to rent a house. And I know they're superstars and they're rich, but this stuff adds up. They've got families. They have obligations as well. They have businesses outside the NBA that they're probably putting this money in, or they're just blowing it. Whatever, that stuff adds up over time. How many people we see go broke?
No, you're right.
Just because they're not managing their money. Well, this is a different time where they have agents telling them this sort of thing, and there really is a movement away from high tax places, and it's unfortunate, Chris, and I'm sorry that's the case. It's not a knock on New York. You know, I love that city there.
Yeah.
You know, I love that city of ours. Okay, but
yeah,
it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. You can't deny the reality.
No, that's a great point that you bring up. Is the people are so there's such a focus on players that mishandle their money when they're coming into these leagues now. Not just in the NBA, the NFL now. Rookies go through actual camps when they're rookies to teach them how to manage their money. And that's a great point you bring up. They probably have advisors telling them when you hit that market as a free agent, you want to get out of New York because you don't want to be paying those taxes. When you have a $200 million contract, you're going to be paying $10 million in taxes here. You'll be paying $40 here. So that's a great point you bring up.
And I want that was the big deal with A-Rod. What did the Yankees get just by being patient? They stole A-Rod, and then we continued. I say we as the Texas Rangers. Forgive my anger there. His salary and his taxes in New York while he played for the Yankees. So the Knicks can pull something like this again. They can take advantage of a very desperate team, and they can be the profiter of a desperation move. And I think that's what they're waiting for, and I think it will happen because this is the NBA, and things change every week.
Interesting, man. Texas Louie, I'm going to let you go in case somebody else wants to call in, but I absolutely love everything you mean to my channel. You're a great subscriber of mine, and I want to say thank you for calling in, buddy.
Well, thanks for listening to me, Chris, and God bless the Knicks.
Oh, from your lips to God's ears, man. Thank you for calling in, buddy.
You're welcome. Bye-bye, Chris.
All right, my man. So I'm going to give a chance for some people to call in, but if it dies down, yeah, but I want to see if some first-time callers. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
I finally got through. Jesus Christmas. It's Delano, man.
Delano, man. Delano. Great subscriber of mine and a huge Knicks fan. Curious to get your take on the situation.
It's time for Dolan to sell the team.
Yeah.
The moment that all this went public and Scott Perry and Steve Mills came out publicly and said that they had no, they weren't incentivizing offering Kevin Durant the max deal. After all this courting, secret meetings, that's really not a secret meeting, the pairing of him and Kyrie, the whole public spectacle of it all, for all of it to just fall flat, and all of it was based off of his injury. They wanted the medical reports from the Golden State Warriors, and all of this going on, and the hesitation because of ownership. It's Dolan. Dolan's been the issue. Dolan will forever be the issue as long as he's the owner of the Knicks. So, again, does it suck that, that we basically failed the free agency? Absolutely.
Right.
Because despite what anybody wants to say about Julius Randle and his productivity and all that stuff, he's not a match player. And as far as I'm concerned, paying somebody over $15 million a year is max money. And he's just not that guy.
Well, just like we did with Tim Hardaway. Yeah, same thing.
And again, he doesn't move the needle for me. So, what's the excitement about? You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to build a championship organization organically. Then it's like we're going after big market free agents. Again, at some point you just got to say, okay, we're going to stick with this one script and stick with this one script. Stop trying to sell fans on what you're trying to do to make things more attractive, because all it is more attractive for you guys to spend money to come to the Garden. But we've already been doing that. We've been
God,
a
yeah.
organization for years, and we still sell out Madison Square Garden.
We're gonna. I said that to. I said that to Bad Dog. I said, you watch next year. The Knicks will outdo the Nets in the box office, even with the player acquisitions. Our fan base is going to go there no matter what. But I completely get your frustration, man. Ownership. Everybody does not like Dolan as the owner. It's not a secret. And I think they're full of crap too. I really do. I really do. I think that they wanted Durant. Everything points to that. There was no other reason to make. I mean, I know Porzingis forced their hand, but I said it earlier to a caller. If they didn't plan on going out there and getting the guy a top tier player this offseason, they would have just kept Hardaway, and they would have gotten more capital. They would have gotten more draft picks, because getting rid of Hardaway was was just as valuable as getting a draft pick, right? Because it gave them the ability to sign a guy like Durant this season. So they were all in on Durant. They missed. I don't care what the Knicks tell me.
And my solution to all Knicks fans and all attendees at Madison Square Garden, if you're out there listening, there's only 3 words I want you to do. I want you to go out there and chant, "Sell the team," to James Dolan. I mean, we've done it for years when we talk about fire a coach.
Right.
We've done this with every single coach we wanted to get rid of. Fire this coach. Fire this coach. And what have the Knicks done in essence? Fired that coach. So maybe, just maybe, our luck will change if we do the exact same thing, and not one fan, not 2 fans, not maybe 1 row, not 2 rows, not the whole people in the nosebleed, not just one crowd in the front. We need everybody in there to yell at Dolan to sell the team, because as long as this guy continues to make moves like these, where he hires a Phil Jackson, who's a rookie president of basketball operations, when he continues to do things where Donnie Walsh gets us under the tap.
Well, yeah, that's a perfect. He screwed that up. And you bring up the coaches. You look at all the coaches we brought in. We brought in a lot of Hall of Fame coaches, and for some reason they don't do well here. We brought in Lenny Wilkins. We brought in Mike D'Antoni. We brought in a lot of Larry Brown. We brought in a lot of great coaches. It's not the coach's fault. It's the culture, and it's that that we can't get premier talent, and Dolan is probably the primary reason. I can't lie about that.
So again, I say to every fan, every MSG attendee, ticket holder, every guy that's in that Garden, when your Knicks are playing every home game, you need to yell at the top of your lungs to James Dolan to sell the thing. There is not enough security in that building or in the state of New York to come in there and kick you guys out. There is not enough money that man can offer for you to sit there and say, you know what, we'll deal with this a little bit longer and continue to be in that while everybody else around us improves. Well, we have a Nets organization who just recovered, literally just recovered, from making that deal with the Boston Celtics, where their whole thing has been in disarray, and they all of a sudden become championship team. There is no way in hell that this makes sense, and you still want James Dolan to be your owner. So every fan, when you go to those games, the 3 words I want you to yell is James Dolan is sell the team. There's only so much he can do and so much he can't take. He's gonna break. He'll sell. He'll find somebody who's willing to take that on, and maybe then we will finally see a little bit more sunshine, a little bit more rays of hope, and we can finally go in a positive direction that benefits New York as opposed to just James Dolan's pocket.
I can't say I disagree with most of what you said. My one question for you is, knowing the situation the Knicks are in right now. Now, I will say, Julius Randle, I wasn't aware of this. They have an opt-out after 2 years, so it's not that bad. It's it's not like the Hardaway contract where it was 4 years. But if you were the Knicks, what would be your plan right now? Because I don't know next year's free agency class, but if I remember correctly, there wasn't a lot of big names. Anthony Davis would have been, but he's going to sign an extension, obviously.
Draymond Green is the only name that I can think of that was supposed to be a big name.
Yeah, and Draymond Green doesn't move the needle. He doesn't move the needle. Yeah, he doesn't move the needle. When does Antetokounmpo become a free agent? 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah. This was the year to do it. It really was. And at this point, all we could do is just continue to suck and draft early in the draft and hope that we are able to build a team like the Warriors did, where they drafted their 3 best players. That's our only option right now. You know.
And see, for me, I'll be honest. I wouldn't even have a problem or anything if we struck out a free agency if your plan was to build organically. But don't sell me on we're building organically and then we're going to clear all this cap space so we could sign a max guy or two max guys or build a team around max guys. If your plan is to build organically, stick to that script. If it's to find a way to build these free agency, stick to that script. But don't sit there and flip flop every 2 seconds and say, well, we're trying to do this. No, we're trying to do that. All the while, like I said, everybody else continues to get better, and we continue to look like a laughing stock.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I can't say much else to what you said, man. It was very well put. Anything else, Donald, before I let you go?
Yes, again, imploring all fans to tell James Dolan to sell the team.
There you go. Everybody in the chat, when you go to the Garden next year, tell James Dolan to sell the team. Delano, man, great subscriber of mine. Hopefully the Giants play better this year than what we're expecting, because we know we're not going to get a winning year out of the Knicks.
Oh yeah. That's a wash now. So
yeah,
I'm optimistic. And like I said, the truth of the matter is, despite my anger of free agency, I was actually okay with us building through the draft and continuing to again build the culture organically. That's why I keep saying I'm fine with striking out, but again, let that be what you're doing. Let us know that's what you're doing. Don't sit there and say we're trying to sell this on. We're trying to get this max guy, this big name, and every time that he comes around, and every time something is reported about him, it's your name's attached to it. Because up until, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that's when the Nets became attractive. That's when they became in play.
Right.
For a whole 82-game season, it's always been the Knicks.
Right.
So how does that work exactly? And you don't see the frustration on fans' faces. And
even the most optimistic Knicks fan has to at least acknowledge and realize why Knicks fans are frustrated. I mean, it's been, I'm assuming you're probably around the same age as me, and it's been torture watching this team, since Ewing left. And this has been the hardest. Well, the Mets are not much better for me, but it's close. But I would say the Mets have been a little bit better. The Knicks have just been dreadful, since 2000, really.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, there's a perfect term for us, long-suffering.
Yeah, exactly. But the most loyal, I'll say that. But, Delano, I'm going to let you go, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you so much for the call, buddy.
Hey, listen, hold your head up. Brighter days are going to come as soon as Dolan sells.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Have a good one, buddy. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, my man. And I just want to say hello to Afghanistan. Afghanistan asked, do the Knicks finalize the max deal on Chris Kaman yet? It's a bit of a joke. But no, they have not gotten to that yet. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, it's Big Mike. I'm calling in again because I wanted to express my frustration with the 76ers. What are we doing? What are we doing? I can't believe this signing. No, okay. Number one, Al Horford's going to be 37 by the time this contract is over.
Mm-hmm.
38, depending on when his birthday is. The man's going to be almost 40.
Right.
He's going to be almost 40 when the contract's up. $97 million guaranteed, which means only $12 million of that isn't guaranteed. That's almost $25 million a year for someone who's going to get the primary purpose of him being here, in my mind, is to get rebounds, be a good make it a good back front court with Embiid and score a little. You don't give almost $25 million a year for someone to go up there and get boards and shoot threes who can stretch the floor. We can find anybody who can, a power forward who can stretch the floor.
Well, I don't know about anybody, but I agree with you that you overpaid.
Tobias Harris can stretch the floor.
Well, you paid $36 million for Tobias Harris.
Yeah, but I think Tobias Harris was a lot more worthy of it. I'm not saying he is worthy of it. I feel like we overpaid for him, too.
Yeah.
But I feel like one day he will deserve the max contract on this team. But Al Horford?
I agree with you. Al Horford would have been on my no-touch list. Now, what I think happened to the Sixers is they're looking at like they have two young stars on this team, in Simmons and Embiid, and they're looking at like we only have a limited window here where before we potentially may lose one of these guys to free agency where we could win a championship. And they panicked when they lost Butler. And they used all the money that they had to try to win now. You know, they probably look at it like they have like a 2-year window. And that's the way they're looking at it.
I just
I agree with you. Horford was on my no-touch list. I would have no part of him. So I agree with you.
I feel as if with the Jimmy Butler trade, we could have won a championship without Al Horford. And then with that, I always, because I felt so confident that 76ers was smarter than this, I felt like there was no need for us to go out and get him. And I felt as if whoever did it was dumb. And now I feel like the dummy. Honestly, oh my gosh. And we're gonna be in cap hell. We're gonna be in cap hell because I don't know if you heard about the news, but Kelly Olynyk's gonna be part of the trade. He's coming to us with the Jimmy Butler trade. So we're gonna have to re-sign Ben Simmons. Kelly Olynyk's contract, Tobias Harris's contract.
What's Olynyk's contract? What's Olynyk's contract?
That's like $13 million a year.
How long?
2 years.
That's not that bad. He'll come off the cap in 2 years, but you guys have a 2-year window. That's basically what you did. And they probably look at it like the East is kind of weak right now. The NBA's up for grabs. There's not a power team right now, unless, of course, Kawhi signs with the Lakers. And they look at it like they have a chance to win a championship. That's their thinking. I'm not saying it's the right thinking, but that's why they did it.
It's not the right, because we were already a championship contender without this trade. Without this signing, with the Jimmy Butler deal. I just don't. You have to be the biggest idiot in the world to sign into that kind of contract.
And somebody asked, "What's your name?" His name is Bigger Mike. And I want to say hello to My Cowboys Family's in the house. If you haven't checked them out, please do so. They got a great channel. Who else we got in here? Slick Nick's in the house. He popped in. What's going on, Slick Nick? How you doing, buddy? Big Knicks fan over there. But anything else, buddy? I want to let you go just in case I get a first-time caller.
No, there's nothing else I got to say. I'm just gonna be depressed for the rest of the night. It's at least it's not.
Hey man, think of it from my perspective. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would much rather be a Sixers fan right now than a Knicks fan. At least you guys have a chance next year.
It's not that bad, but I'll see you. I'll see you next time you stream or next time I make a video or whatever.
All right, but yeah, I'm gonna be on. I'll be on Sports Fair's channel tomorrow doing the mock drafts.
All right, well, I'll see you then.
All right, buddy, man. Thank you for being a great subscriber. Let's see. My Spurs might be the dark horse in the NBA Finals, at least getting there. You think so, boys? I don't know if I see that. And I love the Spurs. I think Popovich. I love the Spurs. I don't know if I see that, but you never know. The West is wide open. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, how you doing? This is Jared in Pittsburgh. What's going on?
What's going on, Jared? How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. I enjoy your stuff. I listen to you on occasion, Howard. I got your stuff on my phone, Howard, so I listen to your shows when I can now.
I really appreciate that. That.
Yeah, I want to talk about this whole Durant thing and this Randall thing, Howard. I mean, my heart bleeds for you. I mean, I can't stand James Dolan either being in Pittsburgh. I mean, it's painful right now. I mean, yeah, they got Julius Randle for $21 million for 3 years, Howard, and then of course the Knicks just figured they're like the Yanks, Howard, and just way over budgeted their plan to $300 million. And now you look at Kawhi. I mean, who knows where he's going to end up and everything like that. But I just hope R.J. Barrett is the real McCoy for them and keeps this team afloat. You know, I mean, after being drafted, of course, last week, Howard, hopefully this is going to be one of the only saving graces of the Knicks season.
Oh yeah. Are you a Knicks fan?
I grew up watching the Knicks. Howard, I've had you instructing those guys. I'm a little bit of a Knicks fan, yeah, because I had a few friends who used to live in New York. Yeah, there's still Knicks fans, and one of them I know does not like James Dolan, and I've been reading a lot of the Daily News and of course the Post on occasion, and just the writers just crucifying Dolan as well as the other.
Oh yeah, no, the city hates Dolan, and yeah, I mean that's what we got going for us this year is R.J. Barrett, and obviously Knox, right? We hope Knox gets better. And Mitchell Robinson. So those are the three pieces that we have to build around. Julius Randle is young. I guess he has talent, obviously, but yeah, it's not going to be. It's not. And who's your football team, by the way?
The Steelers, the black and gold. You talk about New York, Howard. I mean, New York's got to deal with Le'Veon Bell and the headaches up there with the Jets organization. I mean, that's a sorry state of affairs there, you know. And we play them this year at the end of December, right before Christmas. Me and my friends at home are making a trip up to New York for that game, possibly. But yeah, I mean, the Jets and Sam Darnold, however, they got a new coach now that Todd Bowles is out. I don't know if the Jets are going to be anything spectacular. The Giants, I mean, now that they got rid of Beckham, Eli has one more year in him, if that. However, with like I said, that whole thing. I mean, I like Saquon Barkley. My baseball team's the Pirates. Of course, I mean, even though they lost 2 or 3 to Milwaukee this weekend, they really always struggle at Milwaukee and against them here in Pittsburgh. I mean, You take a look at the big story in New York with baseball. Look at the Mets and Mickey Callaway. Why is
they got to fire him? They got to fire him. He's trash.
After what he did last week, I mean, I'm surprised the Mets have just not cut their losses and announced it. It's time to go.
Yeah, but I'll tell you about your Steelers real quick. I think people are sleeping on the Steelers. I'm looking at, because the Steelers are still strong where it matters. They still have a great offensive line, and I think people are sleeping on them. I'm looking at the odds for teams. I think the Browns are like the 6th favorite to win the Super Bowl. If I had a gun to my head, I'd probably pick the Browns to win the division. But I don't. I think the Steelers have a legitimate chance to win that division. I think people are sleeping on them. I think they're thinking just because they lost Brown and Bell. I mean, look at what Connor did last year. He was.
Yeah, he's a good ball. He's a good kid. I watched him in college in Pittsburgh, and he's very talented. He's a real good person off the field too. And then Ben, of course, I think he's got to cut down his interception production. Defensively, I think we're okay with T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward. We're okay there. I think the big question with the Steelers is obviously their secondary. The secondary has always been our weakest point. You have guys like Artie Burns and Sean Davis. I mean, going up against 6'4", 6'5" guys, and these guys are like 5'9", 5'10", 5'11". I think the secondary is the biggest question mark of this team.
Yeah. You guys always seem to need to draft a cornerback. Yeah, man. As far as the Knicks go, yeah, it's gonna be 3 years, I think, until, if it works out, we're competitive, because they have to hit on the draft picks to lure guys to come here. That's the thing, man, and we can't take shortcuts. Unfortunately, we were hoping we could take one this year, but it didn't work out. But anything else, buddy?
What do you think of when we're going to see the Kawhi Leonard thing go down? Probably in the next 24, 48 hours, do you feel?
Yeah, as far as Kawhi Leonard goes, yeah, I gotta think it happens soon. I gotta think it, because I don't know what he's waiting for. Maybe he's waiting to see what some other teams may do. Yeah, that's a great question. As far as the Lakers, I think are going to end up with either him or D'Angelo Russell. Obviously, Kawhi's their first choice, and I think Kawhi's going to stay with the Raptors. Though, I'm not super confident, but if I had to guess, I would say he stays with the Raptors. I hope he does. I think it would be better for the league. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I think within 24 hours, we'll know.
Yeah, I think so, too. I mean, we saw the 4 big fish go out already. All right, now he's number 5, so we'll see what happens next.
Yeah. But, man, I'm going to let you go, man. Thank you for being a great subscriber. Thank you for tuning in, buddy.
No problem. Talk to you soon.
All right, my man. All right. I'm happy we won, though. Didn't want Golden State winning another. Oh, God. I'm sick of Golden State, man. Chip Kelly, people forgot the 76ers went to the playoffs as a 3 seed with just Simmons and Embiid. Oh, Chip Kelly, the Sixers have been a good team for the last couple of years. Definitely been a good team. Leonard to the Knicks, from your lips to God's ears. Sonora, you calling? It seems like it's dying down. You want to call in? I'll take calls for a little bit longer, but it seems like it's dying down. A lot of people are live tonight, so I figured, this wouldn't be that packed of a call-in show, but I wanted to go live to do it anyway. Everybody's, NBA free agency, everybody's live. But yeah, you call in. Oh, man. That was a new caller. But now we got Sonora. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. What's going on, Chad? What's going on, my man? Chad, thank you for popping in. What's going on, Sonora?
Yo, Chad's in the chat. Yo, what's up, Chad? Earlier, with Delano's call, we're talking about management, right? Specifically Dolan. Do you think Dolan has too much power with the Knicks, or do you think it's you think everybody, the GM, the coach, has full power?
One thing I will say, he definitely used to have too much power. That's a fact. Because Donnie Walsh, I don't know if you know who Donnie Walsh is because you're young.
Yeah.
One of the best general managers in basketball. He used to be the general manager for the Pacers. Then the Knicks brought him in right around about a year before the LeBron summer. And he was really fixing the roster. He was clearing up cap space. He was building the team the right way. And he was forced to sign Amare after we missed out on LeBron by Dolan.
Yeah.
And then Dolan forced him to trade for Carmelo. Donnie Walsh did not want to trade for Carmelo. He wanted to wait until next free agency to hopefully be able to sign him. The Dolan stepped in and forced the Knicks to get rid of some assets, and a lot of good players they traded there. They traded Gallinari. They traded Wilson Chandler. Yeah. They traded Timothy Mozgov. They traded Raymond Felton, and they traded draft picks. So Dolan definitely had too much power at one point. People say now he's kind of hands off. He says that he lets Perry and Mills operate. Whether he does that or not, I can't speak on that. It seems like he does, but because they haven't really gone out and signed an outlandish player, but definitely used to have way too much power.
That's my favorite moment for the Knicks was when that dude, the stands was like, sell the team, and then Dolan just like lashed out at him. He's like, "Well, you want me to ban you for all the games in the ever?" And I'm like, he just simply commented on your poor management with the team. I mean, like that dude can't take a joke. I mean, he's a really soft person.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just another clown. I mean, it's just disappointing to see a team like from a really prestigious area in the United States. New York really fall. Like, I mean, 73 to 70 was pretty much their years. They won the championship, and then right through the 80s and then the 90s and then now to the 2000s, they're like a mess right now. That's sad to see. I mean, New York really deserves more with basketball. Don't even count the Brooklyn Nets because they're not even from New York. They're from New Jersey. So
yeah, Brooklyn Nets are not a real New York team. They're not a real. In my opinion, I don't want to bash any Brooklyn Nets fans, but the majority of their fan base is in New Jersey. New York, the Knicks are New York's team. Out since 2000, really. They were good in the 90s. They were great in the 90s. It's just that Michael Jordan always...
was that the one, the Ewing days?
Yeah. Ewing was drafted in 85, and from the early 90s till about 2000, they were always very good for the most part. And then, since then, it's been nothing. So it's been 20 years since they've been a good basketball team on a consistent basis.
And one thing about the Nets, back when we started in 1995, our first game, we won against the Nets. So we're talking about a team that won like 20 wins and all the rest of the losses, losing, the Nets losing to a team that won 20 and like fifth year or whatever, in the first season. I mean, the Nets, they're just disappointing. I mean, I don't even know why New Jersey even got an expansion team. Honestly, they're a team. They don't. I mean, their fan base. You don't even see that many Nets fans. Not even in this community. I haven't seen any Nets fans. Like I haven't seen.
There's some. Jet Central's a Nets fan. There's a few, but the New Jersey Nets actually, when I was in high school, were great. For about 3 or 4 years when they got Jason Kidd, they made two straight NBA finals. But outside of that, they were never. Obviously they had bad luck. They drafted Derek Coleman, who was supposed to be the next superstar like Zion Williamson. They had Drazen Petrovic, who unfortunately passed away. I think it was a plane crash. So they had that team could have been great, but it just didn't work out for them. But
And another thing is, you gotta notice that the '90s era of like players that still playing today is like, well, the window's closing now. Vince Carter, he's probably on the brink of retirement. That's just sad to see, like the '90s era, the real era of basketball, just like all they closed. I mean, people got memories of it and stuff like that, videos and stuff like that. But then like the real game, in my opinion, was the '90s. But the real game is not back anymore. I mean, it's just.
Oh yeah, no, it's that's when basketball was fun. I mean, that's when sports were fun, not just basketball. Football's not the same either. You can't even sneeze on a quarterback; you get a penalty.
Yeah.
But Senor, I'm gonna let you go just in case somebody wants to call in, and we're probably gonna wrap this up in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
But Senor, man, thank you so much for the call. Thank you for being a great subscriber, buddy.
Peace out, Chris. Keep it up on your channel and everything.
All right, my man.
Peace.
All right, buddy. And it is 10:15. I'll wait a couple minutes, see if somebody wants to call in. And no second-time callers. We'll see if we get a first-time caller. I'll give somebody a couple minutes if they want to call in, and then we are gonna wrap it up. I didn't want to go live that long tonight, but I had to go live. Obviously, big day in the sports world, and knew everybody else was streaming, but still had to go live. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that was here, everybody that popped in, everybody that might have subscribed, all my diehard subscribers that are here. Oh, you kidding me, Christian? Of course. Let's talk Kobe. Let's talk Kobe. I talk Kobe on the Sports Critic. Poppy, go ahead and call in. I'll tell you, Kobe's not as good as LeBron James. I'll be the first to tell you that. In my opinion. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for being here. I heard my dog barking in the background. She's hungry. But yeah, thank you guys. You got it, Mac S, man. You got it, Mac S. You got it, Raphael. Sad day for the Knicks. Oh God, it's always a sad. It's a sad 20 years for the Knicks. It's a sad 20 years for the Knicks. What would you do if you... Okay, great question, Fontabamba. What would I do if I was the Knicks GM? In the current situation that they are in right now, they don't... I mean, they have one option. There's no big free agents next year. You know, the only... Draymond Green. I don't even... All right, we're getting a call here. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, who's this?
Midwest.
Midwest, what's up, buddy?
Wait, you said LeBron is better than Kobe?
Oh, yeah. In my opinion.
Kobe has more rings.
Kobe does. Robert Horry has more rings, too. Does that make him better than LeBron James?
No.
And then I could argue that Kobe Bryant was the second best player for 3 of those rings. Certainly 2 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would rank LeBron over Kobe. A lot of people. That's a big debate. It seems on YouTube. But I always I am a LeBron guy. I would take LeBron over Kobe. Now, if the game is on the line, I'm going Kobe. But in terms of an overall basketball player, I would go LeBron James.
Okay.
And Mac S said it perfectly. LeBron James, for me, the difference between LeBron James and Kobe Bryant is LeBron James made his other teammates better. And he led that garbage team in Cleveland. Absolute trash. Their second best player was either Mo Williams, Anderson Varejao, Zildjiris Ilgauskas. You're talking about guys that on a good team are usually the 4th or 5th best player. They were awful. They were like a 21 team without LeBron James. He led that team to the NBA Finals. Kobe would never be able to do that. Not in my opinion. So that is where I differentiate the two. And LeBron James is he's unlike any other player I've ever seen. Kobe's unbelievable, just not LeBron James.
Yeah.
But last 2 minutes, Kobe. I agree with that. But anything else, buddy?
Is he better than Michael Jordan?
Nobody's better than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying to people. They don't know.
Yeah. But I'm going to let you go, buddy. I'm going to let you go. Have a good one, my man. Well, that team fit LeBron's play style more than Kobe's. Well, yeah, that's true. Kobe is not capable of doing that, though, in my opinion. It's just not. I would take, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I think Kobe Bryant's great. He's just not LeBron James. But, guys, I just want to say thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being a part of the stream. Thank you guys for being great subscribers. And have a good night. Have a good night, guys.